First game of the season at home, Monday Night Football against the New York Jets. How do you see this one going?
Okay. I feel like what the Jets have going for them is they have a kick-ass defense. They really do. And every time the Niners faced a kick-ass AFC defense last year, they struggled. They also have a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's coming off a really serious injury. And let's go deep into it. Their offensive coordinator is Nathaniel Hackett, who's just awful. But that sort of means that their offensive coordinator is Rodgers. And this is really kind of his first game with the Jets. And I wonder how sharp he's going to be both as a quarterback and as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator in his first game of the season. So even though I think this is a tough game, I'm picking the Niners.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I think there's a lot of interesting little things that are happening in this game. First of all, you're right. You basically have Aaron Rodgers in what you would assume would be his first full game with the Jets. He got injured very early, oddly enough, against the Buffalo Bills, and Leonard Floyd was the one that tackled him on that play. So now you've got your first game back. You're looking right across on a primetime Monday night game like you did last year. Leonard Floyd's there. That's an interesting deal. Then you've got Bosa on the other side. I wonder if that'll play into anything psychologically for Aaron Rodgers. But ultimately, I don't trust Hackett. I think that the Jets are a bit dysfunctional. You've got Aaron Rodgers. Listen, whatever he wants to do politically, I'm not here to agree, disagree. I just think that all this energy being spent not on football when you're coming off of a major injury is an interesting choice. And then you've got Hackett, who presumably they were trying to replace this offseason and were unsuccessful, yet that leaked to the media. And so now Nathaniel Hackett knows that they didn't even want him to be there. I think the Jets are probably, them and the Bears are the two most talked about teams this offseason. I don't think either one makes the playoffs. I'm not buying the Jets brand at all. I think they're supremely talented, but I think they're trying to make a little bit of an all-star team on the fly. I don't think it's going to work, and I think the 49ers win week 1.
Did the Niners beat a quarterback as good as Aaron Rodgers last year?
Playoffs, Jordan Love.
That's where my mind went to. And it's not definitive that Love is better than Rodgers, although might be. What's interesting about the Jets is they also have a really good running back in Breece Hall. And teams that can run the ball and are committed to it do well against the Niners. Still, we're both picking the Niners to win this game. 1-0 to start the season. Monday Night Football.
Yeah, listen, if Aaron Rodgers is like Aaron Rodgers, he's better than Love. But I've got to see it before I believe it. You look at his last year in Green Bay, he struggled a little bit. Although I think much of what you saw with Love, where he went through growing pains with a young receiving core, I think you saw that with Aaron Rodgers the year prior. So maybe a lot of it was that. But the last time that you saw Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't MVP Aaron Rodgers. And then he's coming off of a major injury. I don't know. I'll buy it when I see it. You gotta really show me on that one. Okay. Week 2, short week already, starting the season. They travel to play the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. How do you see this one?
This one's got to be a win. I mean, I know the Vikings have a talented roster, but it's either Sam Darnold or J.J. McCarthy, and I don't think it's acceptable to lose to either one week 2. You can't lose to Sam Darnold any week, any day of the year. It's unacceptable. But J.J. McCarthy, I don't know, maybe he'll be good down the line. Niners can't lose to him week 2. This seems like an easy win, an easy win, relatively.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we looked at the schedule last year, we saw the Vikings as a win as well. But the circumstances are very different. They had an established quarterback that, I mean, Kirk Cousins, say what you want about him. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. He's very good. Sam Darnold's not very good. I never liked Sam Darnold. So either he's starting or, like you said, a rookie starting. Either way, that bodes well for the 49ers. I'm going to go with the 49ers start out 2-0. Also beating the Vikings. That brings us to their first in-division game, week 3. Also on the road. SoFi, a.k.a. Levi South, versus the Rams. How do you see this one playing out?
Last year, they played the Rams in SoFi week 2. This year, it's week 3. Last year, Cooper Kupp was hurt and didn't play in that game. And the Niners, it was close, but the Niners controlled the game and won by a touchdown. If Cooper Kupp's healthy for this game, I think the Rams are going to win. I think it'll be close, but I think these teams are pretty evenly matched. I think they'll split this year, and I think this is the one the Rams are going to win.
I hate that we're agreeing 3 games in, but I absolutely agree with you. I think that they are going to split. I think the Rams are much better than they were last year, and they were already pretty good. And I just think that Matthew Stafford, Kyron Williams, the revamped offensive line, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, I mean, they can really light it up offensively. And I think they're going to split as well. That's the home game.
Their offensive line is really good too.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
They revamped that thing. And they got Blake Corum, so now they've got a 1-2 punch at running back. They need that win, by the way. They've got a really rough schedule, and they have a bye week, week 6. If they don't beat the 49ers first time around, they're not going to beat them. I think they split. I think they win as well. So the 49ers, we both have them at 2-1. Week 4, Patriots off of a mini bye. I believe they have a Thursday night game before they play the 49ers. So they are traveling to Santa Clara to play the 49ers. I agree. The 49ers are 3-1. All right. We don't
like you tried to set that one up, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did. I tried to,
let's linger for a second. What do the Patriots have going for them?
Well, I mean, I think they actually drafted good receivers for the first time in a long time.
Okay. That's something.
And then they've got a rookie quarterback they can be excited about.
Who everyone hates, right?
Yeah.
Every
exactly.
film guy is like, this guy ain't it.
Yeah.
Belichick said, this guy ain't it. Did you hear that?
Well, yeah.
It was great. Okay. So, yeah, win.
All right.
3-1.
All right. 3-1. Now they play the Cardinals also at home. Listen, Kyler Murray makes things interesting. I think they're a year away from really spicing things up in the West. I think that they beat the Cardinals at home. You agree?
Look, before I say what I'm going to say, let me just preface and remind you and everyone that there's always one game every year a team loses that they really shouldn't.
There is.
And I'm saying it's this one. I think the Niners are going to split with the Cardinals. And I was thinking they'd lose in Arizona, but that's week 18. And I feel like the Niners will be dialed in by then. Week 5, Arizona's sort of new on the block. Do you really have a feel for how they're going to use Marvin Harrison Jr. and what their offense looks like now? I think they're a dangerous team. The Niners have had some trouble with Kyler Murray just kind of containing him in the past. And I don't think he's really had a good receiver in years. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is as good as we think he's going to be, this could be, what you call a trap game. I'm picking the Cardinals.
Okay. It's gutsy. It's very easy to look at it and be like, hey, they're going to beat all these bad teams. But you're right. There's always one. And I account for that at the end when I do the schedule. I did it last year. I think I'll do it again this year. But I'm just going to call it how I see it in the moment. And I'm going to pick them to beat the Cardinals. But I like the guts. Okay.
The Cardinals are my team to watch this year. I think they're going to be more competitive than people realize. But I'm usually wrong. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm staking my claim right now on the Arizona Cardinals. I think that's a team to watch.
Okay. So you've got them at 3-2, and I've got them at 4-1. Now they've got a Thursday night game on the road against the Seahawks. First time facing McDonald's defense since last year when he was coaching the Ravens, and we know how that went. How do you see this game playing out?
There's a lot to like about the Seahawks. They were 9-8 2 years in a row with maybe one of the worst coaching staffs in the league. I mean, on offense and defense, just straight vanilla. Like not even vanilla bean. Just straight up
awful,
flavorless, awful, processed vanilla. And now I think, at least on defense, they should be much more exotic and sophisticated and up to date. So that's interesting. Like that might be a really good defense. They have a hell of a secondary. And if they can improve their front seven, they've added a lot of young players to it and actually stop the run. That being said, as far as I know, last time I checked, their quarterback's still Geno Smith. And he's never going to beat the 49ers. Ever. It's not going to happen. So win.
Okay. I actually have
disrespect. No, disrespect. No, comma.
A lot of disrespect.
Disrespect. Yeah. Like he doesn't even really seem like he competes against the Niners, frankly. I haven't really seen a real competitive effort from him. He seems intimidated. You know those quarterbacks who seem intimidated by the Niners? Tua, Dak, Geno. Those three off the top.
Yeah. There's always, yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Fred Warner stares him down pre-game during the what is it? The Star Spangled Banner. Just stares down the opposing quarterback, and if he looks away, Fred knows he's got him. This guy looks away.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right about this. This is probably the toughest game. I am. This was the toughest game for me to pick on the schedule. This was the toughest game.
Wow.
I think that, first of all, they've got an incredible secondary, and they added to it. They added to it in the draft.
Yeah.
They got arguably the best defensive player in general in the draft. They added him to the defensive line.
Yeah.
I just think McDonald knows what to do against the 49ers, and I think he has the horses to get it done. I really do. I thought they had the horses to get it done last year. I didn't account for them being the worst coached team by far in the league, and especially on defense. It was like something like 85% of the time, whatever they showed pre-snap is exactly what you got post-snap. There's no creativity on defense.
They're not going to be like that this year.
They're not. No, they're going to be all over the place this year. There's going to be a lot of crazy simulated prep. They're going to do a lot of crazy things. So that being said, Thursday night game at Seattle, I actually have them losing this game. Interestingly enough, you have them losing the Cardinals. I have them losing the Seahawks. We've still both got them at a 4-2 record. Now,
a good argument for that, by the way.
Yeah, we'll see.
I just kind of write them off as Geno. I just simple as that. But you made a bunch of good arguments.
Here's the thing. Everything that I said may have been great, but all you have to say is Geno, and I don't know if I don't have a comeback. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Geno. Oh, yeah, that's a really good point he makes.
Yes. So that's tough. All right.
I thought they were more competitive last season against the Niners with Drew Lock. Yeah. I thought he at least had more. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I'll say this too. They had probably the most injuries along their offensive line of any team last year. And this year, not only should, presumably be healthier, they also added 2 pretty good players to that offensive line. So they actually might have a pretty damn good offensive line. And Geno, if he has time to sit back and doesn't get pressured, it might change things. So anyways, we'll see. Week 7 versus the Chiefs, rematch of the Super Bowl. What I like about this is the 49ers are coming off of a mini bye. What I hate about this is the Chiefs are coming off of an actual bye. So,
oh no, Andy Reid off a bye.
Yeah, so go ahead, have it this one.
Andy Reid off a bye. Patrick Mahomes, anytime, any place, anytime, any place. Like Janet Jackson, you can get it. I think this is going to be a loss. The only thing going for the Niners is that the Chiefs don't always take the regular season seriously. Like this could be when Travis Kelce is just kind of, in Taylor Swift mode. He might not really lock in until later in the year, or maybe Rashee Rice is suspended. I don't know what's going to happen there. Other than that, I'm going Chiefs.
I'm going to say the same thing I said about Dallas last year when they played the 49ers, which was if Dallas had any shot at beating the 49ers in the playoffs, they couldn't lose to them in the regular season. The 49ers are in that same situation. They cannot lose to the Chiefs in the regular season. They absolutely cannot. If they lose, they've got no shot if they match up again in the Super Bowl. This is their season Super Bowl. I'm picking them to win this game.
That's a good one. See, it's interesting. I like that logic. This is sort of like how they built up the Eagles last year. The Eagles were their Super Bowl. They handled business. They thought that was that, and it wasn't. Similarly, the Eagles thought the Chiefs were their Super Bowl last year. They handled business. They thought that was that, and it wasn't. So, yeah, maybe the Niners put all their eggs into this game's basket, and I don't know. I don't know what happened after that. But, yeah, I could see them treating this game like their Super Bowl, whereas the Chiefs is like, no, it's not. We don't care less about this game. Sorry. Doesn't matter. We just won the Super Bowl as the 3 seed. Let's try it as the 4 seed this year. Let's make it harder. This is boring. As opposed to the Niners who have to be the number 1 seed.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Not messing around. I agree. Have to be the number 1. Okay.
Okay, so you've got them at 4-3. I've got them at 5-2. Now they play The team that I just
No,
mentioned.
you don't. No, you don't.
No,
You do.
no,
You just picked the Niners beat the Chiefs. That just happened. That was 45 seconds ago. I forgot.
I know you're still in shock over this one, but I picked them to beat the Chiefs. Okay. Now, the team that I just mentioned, the Dallas Cowboys, we're both picking the 49ers to beat the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football
Dak,
at home.
it has a lot to do with Dak, although their defense. Who's their new defensive coordinator?
It is Zimmer, which I think might be an upgrade defensively.
I mean, yeah, I think Dan Quinn had gotten figured out by Kyle Shanahan at this point.
Yeah.
What's the argument for Dallas now? It was 42-10 last time we saw this matchup. What's different? Dak's figured it out this time.
Well, last time they had just lost Trayvon Diggs like 10 days prior. Maybe that was a punch to the gut, which led to them losing to the Cardinals potentially. I guess that's an argument you can make. They didn't have Zeke last year. I'm just kidding. There is no argument. The Cowboys are not beating the 49ers.
Talk about a complacent team. Like the way I talk about the 49ers, the Niners are way better than the Cowboys when it comes to trying to compete, trying to really win the Super Bowl.
The Cowboys are who you think the Niners are, but they're actually that.
Yeah, they really need quality control because that team is just in cruise control.
49ers have a bye after that, and then they travel here to Tampa to take on the Bucks coming off of a bye.
Interesting.
I'll be at that game. I think the Bucks are pretty decent, but I love the 49ers coming off a bye. I don't like them traveling east, but coming off a bye, I've got to go with the 49ers.
Who's the best player in the Bucks?
Best player, probably their safety that just got signed to a record deal.
So they got him, they got Vita Vea, they got Tristan Wirfs. Those guys are all complete studs. But their best offensive weapon is Mike Evans.
I'm
not saying he's bad, but I just feel like he's slowing down. Even though he scored like 18 million touchdowns last year. I just think like physically he's not as fast as he was. And I don't really think, Baker Mayfield's good. I think he would be great on the Niners, like a lot of quarterbacks would be, but they beat him last year. It's the same team. Have they changed that much from the team that lost to the Niners last year?
No.
So,
their secondary might have got worse, actually, believe it or not.
They lost Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
See, I know all about Tampa. I'm really an NFL guru. Forget it. Trusted and reputable, not just with the Niners, everyone. Everything.
Objectively speaking, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you say objectively, then it automatically means what you're about to say can't be disputed.
That's true.
Okay. We both haven't beaten the Bucks.
Objectively speaking, I haven't beaten the Bucks.
Okay, so we're 9 games in. You've got them at 3 losses. I've got them at 2. Okay. Now they come back home, going from east back to west to play the Seahawks at home. Geno Smith, right? So that's a win, 49ers?
It's either Geno Smith or Sam Howell at this point. Either way.
Okay.
Right. I just don't understand what the Seahawks and the Raiders are doing at quarterback. Like, it's the best you got. Sorry. Yeah. No. When you ask Nick Bosa, hey Nick, every week I always ask, what's the key to maybe not shutting down the opposing quarterback, but defending the quarterback coming up? And he usually gets something pretty candid. With Geno last year, it was make him play quarterback. I was like, that's doesn't sound
also
good.
true.
Yeah, make him play quarterback. Oh, okay, win.
Yeah, great. All
right, do that.
I agree. They're gonna win. They're gonna win that game. Okay. So on the road, East Coast, come home, West Coast. Then they play the Packers. The Packers are not coming off a bye, but they did have a bye in week 10, played Chicago, and now they're at home against the 49ers 2 weeks later. Weather could be interesting here. This is a revenge game for the Packers. How do you see this one going?
I think the Packers are better than last year. I
agree.
Their good players are all young. Jordan Love will be in his second year starting, and they had success. First of all, they only lost by 3 on the road to the Niners. They had success running the ball. Aaron Jones is good. I think Josh Jacobs is better. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Josh Jacobs is better. I think they can pound the Niners on the ground, no Diddy, in ways that only a few teams can. And on the road, it's going to be cold. I'm picking the Packers.
Okay. Packers. This is. It's really this game and week 6 are the toughest ones for me to go back and forth on. But I think the 49ers win this one. I really couldn't give you like analysis as to why this game really is a coin toss to me.
Yeah.
I just gut
I'm not
feeling.
super confident that the Packers win. I mean,
no.
Jordan Love has a lot of YOLO in him. A lot.
Yeah, he does. Well, and the other thing too is their defensive coordinator last year wasn't good, but I don't know if it's any better this year. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with 49ers, just a gut feeling.
Jeez. So
okay.
I got him at 4 losses. You got him at 2?
I got him at 2. Yep.
Okay. I'm a hater.
You are a hater. But I can see this happening too. That's the crazy thing. All right. Now they stay on the road. December 1st, primetime Sunday night game at Buffalo. Buffalo, interesting team. They've lost a lot of veteran leadership on that team, defensively and offensively. They're kind of retooling on the fly, but they're at home and they're coming off a bye week. Who do you have winning this game, Buffalo or San Francisco?
Okay. Just a second. Sorry, you got me? I opened up another tab and everything went bad. I'm back though. Okay, I made up my mind. Here's the thing. On Stephon Diggs, I think the Niners have made it clear that they can lose to teams that don't have a number 1 wide receiver. If the team has a great quarterback and a good tight end or an excellent tight end and a really good defense, that team's in play. And I mean, the Niners got smacked by the Baltimore Ravens, who had Isaiah Likely and Zay Jones and a quarterback who was hard to contain. So
Zay Flowers.
Meet Josh Allen. Like you thought Lamar from the people who brought you Lamar Jackson, a bigger, stronger, arguably better version. It's a tough matchup. The one time the Niners faced Josh Allen, he made it look so easy. Now that was 2020, and that was a long time ago. But I'm picking the Bills.
Yeah, I think the key here is coming off of a bye. And when you look at the 49ers, you come off a bye week in week 9. You travel as far east/south as you can go. Then you come all the way back to the West Coast. You go to the Midwest, you play the Packers on the road, and then you got to come up into New York and play the Bills, who are coming off of a bye. I think the 49ers are going to have only 2 losses going into that game. I think the Bills are going to need that win with the way that their schedule is shaping out. Give me Josh Allen at home coming off a bye. I'll go with Buffalo to win that game as well.
Okay. So I got 5 losses. You got 3.
3. Yep. Week 14, coming off of 2 road games against the Packers and the Bills. They come back home to play the Chicago Bears and a rookie Caleb Williams with an all-star receiving cast. How do you see this one going?
I mean, the Niners should win this game. And I don't know that I'm bold enough to pick against them now, but this is another game that they could lose. This is a team that went 7-10 last year with Justin Fields and Tyson Bagent. And if Caleb Williams is as advertised, this could be a tough game. I'm picking the 49ers because I've already picked them to lose 5 games. And I don't want to be labeled as negative. But this is, I think, one of their more interesting games that I have them winning. Because who the hell are the Bears with Caleb Williams? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't know either. Listen, here's the deal. I think Caleb, I don't think he's a can't miss prospect, but I do think he's very good. The one thing that concerns me is that Caleb Williams week 14 is probably going to be a much better version of what he's going to be weeks 1 through 6, let's say. So you might get a team that's kind of in stride. Caleb Williams is essentially in almost, what do they call it? Like when you're a rookie at the end of the season, it's basically like you're in year 2 mode. He may be in year 2 mode and he may be very good.
Mhm.
That being said, I don't like what they have in the trenches. I don't trust Eberflus. He'll probably get fired. I
I
don't
agree.
think they're going to make the playoffs. I
Yeah,
have the 49ers winning that game.
me too. Me too.
Okay.
Also, it's just the Bears. It's the Bears. They blow it. They mess everything up somehow.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Now, if it was in Chicago, cold weather, I might change my mind, but they're at home. So, okay. Week 15, they stay at home. Second meeting with the Rams. Did we both have them losing to the Rams the first time through? Yeah, we did. So I assume that we both have them winning this game. I know I do. What about you?
Yeah, I don't think he can get swept by the Rams. Rams at home. By this time, Stafford probably's got, messed up finger, toe, eardrum. He gets nicked up. He's like 36 years old. Cooper Kupp too. Big of the Niners at this point.
Okay. All right. Now they go back to Florida, even further away somehow than Tampa. And they play the Miami Dolphins on the road 3 days before Christmas. How do you see this one shaping out?
I'm gonna say something about Miami. They're soft. And soft. Good team, talented, fast. They're a bad matchup for a lot of teams, but I don't think they're a bad matchup for the Niners. We saw them against the Niners. Tyreek played in that game. Tua doesn't want the smoke. Put it that way. He doesn't want it.
But now they have OBJ who's washed.
Oh, he's been washed.
I know. I know. All right. Yeah, I could see them losing just because of the travel being late in the season. I've only got them at 3 losses, but I really can't. Everything you think about Geno, I think about Tua.
Yeah.
I don't think Tua is very good. I think he's super overrated. He's a numbers merchant, but he's not a very good quarterback at all. And I think the 49ers give him fits. I think it's an awful matchup for the Dolphins. So I'm going to pick the 49ers to win that game as well. Here is the game that might decide the number 1 seed in the NFC, Grant, especially the way that you've got the schedule playing out thus far. They come home. They play the Detroit Lions. I believe also this is on Monday Night Football. How do you see this game going?
They were so close at the end of last year. It was a 3-point game, 34-31. The Lions have gotten better. Like,
Much better.
on paper, they are legitimately better than last year.
Yeah.
Especially on defense. Whereas the Niners themselves don't even say they're better. They're like, we didn't get worse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking the Lions. 6 loss.
Oh.
6 losses.
I'm picking the 49ers. They have to get the number 1 seed. They're going to be in desperation mode. If they lose that game, they don't get the number 1 seed. If they don't get the number 1 seed, they're not making it past the divisional round. So they've got to win this game. I'm picking the 49ers to win at home in a must-win
I thought you were going
game.
to use the same argument I used to shoot down the Seahawks.
Oh, the Goff thing?
Goff.
Yeah, but he's
When was
protected.
the last time the
That's
Niners lost
difference.
to Goff?
Yeah, but he's protected. It's something about him when he's got time, man. And that offensive line is like a steel wall. So
You just know he's going to fade as the game goes along. Like, if he
yeah.
doesn't have you in the coffin by the third quarter, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm talking myself out of picking the Lions right now because
literally in the middle of it.
Goff, dude. But yeah, I'm picking Lions.
Okay. Final game of the season at the Cardinals. Spoiler alert. Actually, upset alert. I'm picking the Cardinals to win only because the 49ers will have the number 1 seed wrapped up at this point, which means they're not going to play their starters and they'll lose to the Cardinals. So that's their 4th loss for me.
I'm picking the Niners because I don't see them going into the postseason on a 2-game losing streak, and I have them losing to the Cardinals already. So they get their stuff together and take down Kyler Murray once and for all. Week 18. So I have them at 11-6.
You have them at 11-6. I have them at 13-4. I'm going to say the same thing I said last year that landed me on 12-5. I have them at 13-4. There's a game somewhere that I'm not right on, and I don't know what game that is, but they're going to lose an extra one, so they're going to finish 12-5 this year, back-to-back years.
The way I look at it is they were 12-5 last year, and I don't think they got better. I'm not saying they got worse, but I think their schedule got tougher. Their division got tougher. Their conference got tougher. So I'm expecting one more loss than last year. Also, the big thing that we can't account for,
Injuries.
and not just any, but two in particular, Trent Williams and Debo. They miss games every year. And the question with them is, will they miss games at the same time? And how many games will they miss? When? Because last year when both of them went out, the Niners were 0-3. They could not win when those two guys went down. So is that going to happen again? Is this going to be the year where Trent misses 6 games instead of 3, or Debo misses 5 instead of 2? That's sort of, I mean, it's why they drafted Ricky Pearsall, right? They're really at the mercy of those two guys.
Here's another thing that we didn't account for when we were doing the early part of the schedule. Dre Greenlaw is not going to be playing. So that makes the Jets a little bit more interesting, right? Like, this is a team that can run the ball with Breece Hall, a revamped offensive line. And maybe they just run the hell out of the ball and there's nothing the 49ers can do about it, And same thing with the Rams. So I think that makes things really interesting as well. They're already starting off more injured than what they were last year. So I don't know, man.
It's true.
You're right. We can't account for that.